morning, everyone. This is Tony from her Homestead Skills. Actually, it's good afternoon here. I've been out shopping today, and I plan to make probably what is a traditional Italian condiment, and it is pickled vegetables. And the main ingredients are cauliflower, carrots, celery, and peppers. And I was also looking for some of those little pearl onions, but I wasn't able to find any. And perhaps a hot pepper I may add to some of these. Oh yeah, another one of the ingredients, of course, is olives. The stuffed green olives. That's another ingredient that I am going to be putting in this. So what I'm going to have to do, though, this is going to is a process that's going to take over 2 days. So I will be chopping up all the vegetables into bite-sized pieces and layering them with salt and then pouring water on and mixing that up so that they will be sitting in salt water overnight to drain some of the liquid out of the vegetables. That salt water will be washed out before we pickle, before we add the brine and some spices, but that is the first stage. So we let the vegetables sit in salt water overnight. So I'm going to prepare all the vegetables now, and when that's done, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, well, I've got all my vegetables cut up. I did not follow the recipe to a T, which is something I never do. Actually, there are a number of recipes for this, and I'm doing a variation of both. You can find one in the, you can find one in the Bernardin Complete Book of Home Preserving, which is exactly the same thing as the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. Only one is for the Canadian market, one is for the US market. And there is, surprisingly, a recipe in here for Giardiniera, and that's how it's pronounced. And probably, yeah, I'm not doing all the I'm not doing the exact recipe that's in this book, but if you want to, you can use this recipe. Okay, I also had a couple of green bell peppers from my garden that I decided to add to this. If I had more, I might add it. I may go out and get more. Now, this bowl is obviously not large enough to be able to salt and water, so I'm going to mix everything up in this larger bowl, and it's still not quite enough. Okay, I have to find another container. Okay, well, hopefully this roasting pan will work. So let's try this again. There we go. And yes, I think I will go and get another green pepper from my garden and throw this in. Looks lovely. Okay. And I'm going to try and find some button onions. Or they're called pearl onions or button onions, which I'd like to put in this. Once again, it's not necessary, but it's something that you might want to add if you're going to make this as well. So at this point, we're going to add, now for the recipe, they want a quarter cup of salt, and that's for half of this recipe. So I'm going to go with at least half a cup of salt, and it really doesn't matter because the salt will get washed out. So the idea is just to draw the moisture out of the vegetables. And so I'm just adding, and it's sea salt that I'm using, and then I'm going to cover this with water and let it sit overnight, and I'm going to cover it with plastic foil just in case there's fruit flies around or whatever. So at this point, I'm just going to get some water. Okay, and I do plan to can this, so I'm not concerned about the quantity that I have. Now, normally you wouldn't make this much and you might put it in the refrigerator, but since I plan to can it, definitely the quantity is not something to worry about, and probably a good thing making it all at once rather than a bit at a time. Okay, I need another container of water. So it's enough water to cover the vegetables, and I've got plenty of water there. And this container's too big, but the other ones were way too small, so actually I may transfer this all to a larger pot, but if I do that, it's just more things to wash again. But actually I think I will. It'll be easier to manage than in this thing. Okay, so just more things for me to wash, but that's okay. So, and actually this pot has a lid. Which is perfect. Oh yes, this pot would have been ideal had I gone for it to begin with. Okay, I'm gonna transfer everything else here and then I'll get back to you. Okay, as you can see, everything transferred just fine. We've got lots of water in here, and I'm able to mix this all up. Okay, and we're gonna let this sit at least 6 hours and probably overnight and get back to you tomorrow with this. Now, this is not the lid that goes with this pot, but it works. And okay, so I have found not only my little white pearl onions that I was looking for, I also picked up a couple of hot banana peppers, and just 2, and I'm going to chop these up and put them in that mixture. The white onions, I understand that the easiest way to peel them is to blanch them for a minute, then cut off the end, and it should just slide out of the outer shell. We'll see. I'm going to try that method. Okay, my hot banana peppers have been washed, and now I'm just going to cut them into rings to add them to the other vegetables. And I'm not going to bother trying to remove the seeds. I believe the seeds are what makes these hot, but that's fine. I'm not a fan of hot, but I'm only putting 2 of these banana peppers in that mixture, so it won't be deadly hot, hopefully. Hopefully. And okay, I'll get back to you when these are all done as well. They certainly aren't sliding out the way I've been told that they would, but it's close enough. Okay, so I've assembled all my spices for the Giardiniera, and the one thing that I am omitting is fennel seeds. Mark's not fussy on fennel, so want to make sure that he enjoys this as well. And I don't have celery seeds, so I'm going to put a little bit of celery salt in its place. So other than that, I have yellow mustard seeds, whole peppercorns, oregano, rosemary, coriander, and a bay leaf, and I will be putting 1 garlic clove in each jar. And I have a dozen jars, dozen pint jars all set up here for my Giardiniera, but I believe that I don't know if I'll fill 12, so I'm not going to put spices in all 12. I'll start with 8 and put 3 aside in case I need more. And obviously, if I need more than 12, I will be getting more jars. So I'm going to put spices at the bottom of 8 jars right now, and I'll get back to you later. Let's start with the quantities. So we're going to go with half a teaspoon of dried oregano, actually I'm starting off with 9 jars, not 8. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, quarter teaspoon of yellow mustard seeds. I'm omitting a quarter teaspoon of fennel seeds, and I'm going to put a quarter teaspoon of black peppercorns. And red chili flakes, I'm going to avoid that as well because I don't really want them hot. So there's going to be enough with the hot peppers that I put in there. And an 1/8 teaspoon of celery seeds. And since I don't have that, I'm just going to shake in a little bit of celery salt in each one. Okay, oh, and 1 bay leaf. Where's my bay leaves? 1 bay leaf in each jar, and 1 clove of garlic in each jar. So I'm going to put all that aside right now and clean off 9 cloves of garlic and put 1 in each jar. Okay, I've got 9 jars prepared with my spices. Oh, and you know what? I didn't add any rosemary. I'm going to put a quarter teaspoon of rosemary in each one. Now that is, once again, this is optional. You know, some of these spices you may or may not want to add, depending on your own taste. As well as some of the vegetables. I mean, the basic vegetables are the cauliflower, carrots, red, yellow, or orange peppers, the sweet bell peppers, and celery. Absolutely, celery as well. So once you've added those 4 vegetables, you can expand on that. I've chosen to add the green olives as well as the little pearl onions, just because I like the mixture. Okay, for my brine, hopefully I won't have to mix a second batch. I did what I believe is a large batch. I did 7 cups of pickling vinegar, which is a little more acidic than the regular. Rather than 5%, it's 7%. I did 3 tablespoons of pink Himalayan sea salt because I had that, but any good quality salt will do. And 7 cups of water and 1 cup of sugar. Some recipes call for sugar, others don't. I decided to add it just to remove some of the bite. Now I did taste some of these vegetables. As you can see, I have drained them. And because of the 2 hot peppers that I put in, it's a little spicy. Fortunately for me, it's not overly spicy, so it is something that I can eat as well. I'm certainly glad though that I didn't add any more heat, as in red chili peppers, to this mixture. Okay, so now the idea is to pack this as tight as I can get it and try to get a variety of ingredients in each jar. And I'm just going to start with loosely packing them for now. See where I am. Looks awesome. Okay, so I'm adding the brine to all these jars now, leaving ½ inch headspace. I've got them mostly done at this point. And there is absolutely no shortage of brine here. I'll likely pour the balance of it into a quart jar. I'll probably have at least that much left, if not more. Okay, I've got my brine in. Now I'm going to debubble, and I just love the way these look. They just look awesome. So debubble, here's my chopstick for that. Looking good. And it helps pouring the brine in slowly, but I still have bubbles. Right now, the last thing I want to add is a smidgen of oil in each one. Perhaps a tablespoon, perhaps a little bit less, but I'm just pouring a bit of olive oil in each one. Hoping not to touch the edges so that they stay clean for me. Perfect. I think that's a good recipe. It certainly isn't the one in the Ball canning book or the Bernardin canning book. I didn't like that one at all, but it's a modification of that. You can certainly start off with that and then come up with something yourself. Okay, so now I'm just going to get some lids and rings and clean the edges with vinegar. And I've got a canner on already, and I'm going to get a second one on. Okay, I have put my extra brine in a mason jar, and same process as always. I'm going to clean the rims with vinegar. Take a lid that has been washed. Now I don't remember which one I cleaned. Okay, just do it again. Clean the rims with vinegar. Take a lid that has been washed and a ring. And put them in your boiling water canner. Now we are going to water bath can these for 10 minutes. That's all that's needed. But you have to get the water up to a boil first. Okay. Lid. Ring, and into the canner. Looks good enough to eat. Actually, I'm very pleased with this. I hope it tastes as good as it looks. Okay. Okay, into the water bath canner for 10 minutes. Okay, there we have it. 10 beautiful jars of Giardiniera, they all sealed. I was a little concerned about that because of the oil. So I had a tiny bit of siphoning, and that's obviously what caused me the concern. But if that is a concern for you, omit putting the oil in before you can it, and you can always add it just after you open the jar as well. So if you do have a siphoning issue, the oil will not prevent a seal from occurring. Okay, that's just a little heads up in case you try this and you're a little bit concerned about that. Okay, this is Tony from her Homestead Skills. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.